welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, March 15th, 2016. Just going to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks has a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice. Thank you for your patience with that. So as regular viewers well know, we've been keeping an eye on the Russell Index, looking at it from the 5-year monthly time frame. So we're using the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, paying particular attention to this blue channel. It was a very important area through all of 2014. Price was contained within the blue channel, and then we had this lift up and out in early 2015. The subsequent sell-off that brought price all the way back down to these lower levels here. Here is the candle for the month of March so far. So you can see that we're in that area that may offer some resistance. My thinking being that if it was this very important area of support through all of 2014, then it may offer some resistance here where we are right here, right now. That's an encouraging candle, I have to say, for the month of February. I like the long wick and the push. So it defended this value area and said, no, we want prices higher. So we'll see if we get follow through. It's a really important week. The Fed is making some announcements tomorrow. In other news, the Bank of Japan this morning downgraded the outlook for their economy. I'll include this little CNBC clip on that announcement. It just explains it a little further. It's only about 3 minutes and might be worth listening to. I'll put that in the bottom of the show notes with today's video. Retail sales came in this morning a little soft. There's some housing numbers and manufacturing numbers coming in later today. So a lot of data today and tomorrow, but especially that Fed announcement tomorrow because everyone's hovering around interest rate decisions. So that's the Russell. Let's take a look at it. We're moving away from the 5-year monthly to the 2-year weekly. You can see the price, that the nice, very strong price projection that's brought us back into this area. So maybe we'll see a continuation, but maybe we will start to roll here. I think the really important chart to keep an eye on that I'll be watching is the dollar, the US dollar, and how the US dollar continues to react to the ECB announcement last week and whatever the Fed says tomorrow. So the reason being, it traded in this little wedge, had this breakout. It's trading in another wedge here. Depending on what the Fed says tomorrow, it could have a very strong effect on the dollar, which would then, I would think anyway, have an adverse effect on commodities and things Canadian, right? So we looked at this chart last week. This is the TSX, big wedge, price fell below. We had that cascade waterfall sell-off, but then it was defended. Long wick, price in this area was defended. So that's January, this is February, and so far for the month of March, we're right in that apex. So whatever is decided tomorrow, I'll be looking to the dollar to see how the US dollar reacts and then how the Canadian counterparts start to react in response to that. So with that, I will leave you for today. Some charts of interest, old Chart of the Day Cafe picks that are sitting at areas of support. I've checked these this morning. I'm pulling them into a smaller time frame. So we'll look at, this is Disney, up and over the 8-day EMA. So you know at Chart of the Day Cafe, it's all about price being up and over the 8-day EMA. So I would say that Disney is at this very minor area of support. So if price continues to show strength, Disney pays a dividend and has a nice high RV score of 1.43, meaning it's a value pick. The other one is eBay. Again, at that area where you can really identify a nice level of support, the 8-day EMA, it looks as though it may want to lift. eBay has a nice high value score at 1.43. It does not pay a dividend, but it's got a 18% forecasted earnings growth rate this year. These are all past Chart of the Day Cafe picks. The last one is SYNA. You might need to go to the website, to the YouTube channel Chart of the Day Cafe to take a look at the video that I did a while back on this one. They are the company that enable fingerprint identification. It looks as though, should the market continue stronger, it's at an area where I would expect a breakthrough here. So I'm keeping an eye on this one. It does not pay a dividend, but it does have a nice high value score of 1.49 and a 23% forecasted earnings growth rate, like that. So looking for it to lift up and over this area of resistance. So with that, I will leave you for today, and keep an eye on what the Fed decides tomorrow, the US dollar, and we will put out another video on Thursday. Thanks very much and have a good rest of the week.